Yes, it's a beautiful Friday morning to you listeners out there. And you're on to your delectable sports program, Sports Diaries. Yes, as we all know, it is a program where we do highlights, we deal with the highlights, analysis, and what is happening, latest updates in the world of sports. Right now, we've got stories on the MPFL, the EPL, the UCL, the boxing, and much more. So stay tuned to iPower 102.7 FM because the program you're on, like we said earlier, is Sports Diary. And I am Sports Steve, beginning stronger from the MPFL, where we've got this on Ahmed and Canopy forward Ahmed Musa as we join the team ahead of the Nigerian Premier Football League MPFL match day 27 against our Academy Warriors. Musa has been absent from the side Masuki previous games due to family reasons. The veteran forward took part in the team's training session Thursday. Musa's return is a big motivation for Mohamed Babaganaru's side as they continue their fight against relegation. He has registered 3 goals for Canopilas in the MPFL this season, and Canopilas will also lock arms with the Academy Warriors at the Sani Abachi Stadium on Sunday. Still talking MPFL, where I've got this on Quarry United. Yes, like I said earlier, still talking MPFL, where I've got this on Quarry United. The Nigerian Premier Football League MPFL has signed Quarry United 9 million naira for and 9 million naira for the Grand Violence that erupted in the rescheduled March 22 clash against Rivers United. The league body chief operating officer Inioluwa Adekoya announced the decision in a statement today. According to Owumi, Kwara United breached multiple provisions of MPFL rules and regulations after violent scenes marred the features at the Rashidi Yakima main ball stadium on Wednesday. The report stated that Kwara United failed to provide adequate and effective security, resulting in authorized persons gaining access to restricted areas. Kwara United also failed to ensure proper conduct of their supporters, leading to harassment and injuries to match officials and officials of Rivers United. 3 points and 3 goals shall be deducted from Quarry United accrued points and goals for assaults on my officials, and Quarry United will also play their remaining matches at the MK Abiola Sports Arena in Abeokuta. The club have 48 hours from the date of notice to appeal this sanctions. Still talking MPFL. Still talking MPFL and still talking Kwara United. Kwara United have condemned the act of violence that in their Nigerian Football League MPFL rescheduled match day 22 fixtures against Rivers United. The Harmony Boy they held to a 1-1 draw by Rivers United at the Shidi Akini Ball Stadium in Ilorin on Wednesday. Footage of an attack on the chairman of Rivers United, Baluku, by the home supporters were seen circulating on social media. The supporters were also seen to have approached the pitch after the game. Quarry United expressed deep regrets over incidents, describing the behavior of the perpetrators of the attack as unacceptable and contrary to the club values. The club also reaffirmed its commitment to fair play and respect of officials, adding that it will cooperate fully with their appropriate authorities to identify and prosecute anyone found culpable. It will be recalled that Quarry United supporters also attacked journalists after their last to march against Kano Pillars. And now we've got this on the NWFL. And this is coming from Nasarawa Amazon's coach, Christopher Danjuma, as he has criticized the Sunshine Queens tactics. He wanted a loss in Akura. Danjuma insisted that the Sunshine Queens technical cruise approach to the game does not portray the true meaning of football. He said football is meant to be entertaining, develop players for the national team and access the credibility of coaches. Lucky victories go for Sunshine Queens and then Nasarawa Amazons unbeaten run in the league this season. Danjuma told Newsman, he said, and I quote, as for me, in the game against Sunshine Queens, I did not see any criteria that portrays good football by the host. Nasarawa Amazons occupy second position in Group B table with 15 points from 8 matches. Yeah, still talking WFL. Well, I've got this on Oshun Babes FC as the Nigerian Women Football League and WFL has imposed a 2.5 million fine and 3-point deduction on Oshun Babes Football Club after the scheduled league fixtures. SFC Robo Queens will take place in Lagos. In a statement issued recently, the league confirmed the match field for Wednesday at Onikon Stadium could not commence due to visiting sites failure to meet kit requirements. And WFL said Oshun Babes instead as a away team did not present any alternative jersey that would properly display players' names and numbers despite a confirmed clash with the home team. League officials subsequently awarded SFC Queens in accordance with the competition's regulation, and WFL Media Director Samuel Amadu explained that the club's action Article 10.3 of the league regulatory framework, the provision has been to their second choice colours whenever there is a kit conflicting with the host club. The statement also noted that Article 10.5 mandates the away side to change kit of their team, a home team appears it is registered first choice colour. Waves FC have contravened Article 14.7 after failing to honour the fixture without force majeure of any acceptable explanation. Yes, moving on, where I've got this on WAFCON 2026, and this is coming from the Super Falcons of Nigeria as they will open camp. They will open camp in Yaoundé, Cameroon next Wednesday ahead of the do-or-die friendlies against the indomitable Lioness of Cameroon. Coach Justin Madugo unveiled a 25-player squad for the game on Thursday. The players will fly differently directly to Yaoundé from their respective bases. Nigeria and Cameroon will use the friendlies as a part of their preparation for the 2026 Women African Cup of Nations. The Super Falcons are joining Group C with debutants Malawi, Zambia and Egypt. Cameroon will face Cape Verde, Mali and Ghana. The competition will also run from March 17th to April 3rd, 2026. Still talking WAFCON 2026, where I've got this coming from Comfort Arabo. She is full of excitement after earning a maiden invitation to the Super Falcons. The Portsmouth goalkeeper was named in the Nigerian squad for the doubleheader friendlies against the indomitable Lioness of Cameroon on Thursday. Arabo was previously involved with Nigeria on the 17 women's side, the Flamingos. The shot stopper celebrated an invitation on her social media, and she posted, and I quote, "An honor to have received my first senior collab. Thank you, Jesus." The 20-year once had stints with West Ham United and Brighton and Hove. Yes, moving on to the EPL, where I've got this coming from Paul Masson from Arsenal star Paul Masson has predicted the Premier League match is taking place this weekend on Monday. Chelsea will host Burnley on Saturday evening at Stamford Bridge, while Manchester City will clash with Newcastle United at the FA Stadium later in the evening. On Sunday, Tottenham Hotspur welcome us at home. Sunderland will face Fulham. While on Monday, Manchester United will talk about it at the Garden Park. Starting with his prediction, Nesson told newsman, he said, and I go to Aston Villa will beat Leeds City to a victory of 2-0. Brentford will beat Brighton over to a victory of 2-1. Chelsea will go on with a victory of 3-0 against Burnley. West Ham United will beat Bournemouth to a victory of 2-1. Manchester City will beat Newcastle to a victory of 2-1. Nottingham Forest sadly lose to Liverpool to a stunning defeat of 0-2. Crystal Palace will beat to a stunning victory of 2-0. Sunderland and Fulham will go on with a draw of 1-1. Tottenham Hotspur will lose to a stunning defeat of 0-1. While Everton, finally Everton, will lose to Manchester United to a stunning defeat of 1-2. And that was the prediction of former Arsenal star Paul Murphy. Coming directly from the NFF, and this is Eric Shell, a board member of the Nigerian Football Federation, has confirmed that Super Eagles coach Eric Shell has tabled fresh terms for the body, including an increase in his monthly salary from $50,000 to $130,000, which is also to cover his assistant. However, everything remains subject to review and approval. Although Shell still has 1 year left on his current deal, his future has become a topic of debate following Nigeria's third place finish at the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. The Super Eagles were unbeaten in 7 matches, lose only the semi-finals to host Morocco on penalties. They also scored 14 goals at the tournament. Nigeria's highest tally in the single AFCON campaign. Yes, moving on. I have got this from matches that were played yesterday. We have got this from Manchester United as they beat Atletico 2-0 to enter the women's UCL quarters. Manchester United made a short work of Atletico Madrid to reach the Women's Champions League quarterfinals yesterday with a 2-0 win. The first dismissal of Atletico, masking a sword to take on Bayern Munich in the next round. Wolfsburg joined United in the last 8 as they got an impressive 2-0 victory as Juventus to progress 4-2 over both legs. Already 3-0 from the first leg in Spain. United effectively ended the tie as a contest inside half an hour. Julia Zigoyo netted at Leigh Sports Village, England International. Just back doubled the host advantage on the night with fine strike following a short corner routine 41 minutes. With the clock winding down, Atletico found themselves reduced to 10 as Zenia Perez saw red in the 85th minute. Earlier, Vivian Enderman puts two-time champion Wolfsburg ahead of her to the 18th minute at the Juventus Stadium. The host desperately sought a leveler, but the door was put back 6 minutes into the second half injury time. And Korazikal finished past Daniel De Jong, which found back off the net via the crossbar. Yes, moving on. I've got this fresh one coming from Victor Boniface. An update on Victor Boniface. Werder Bremen confirmed that unknown Nigerian striker Victor Boniface will not feature against any clubs but the clubs this season, even as the 25-year-old has become the train following months on the sidelines with the injury. Boniface will join the Bundesliga side unknown by last summer, suffered a knee injury during the training session this December, and underwent surgery in January in Innsbruck, Austria, and the knee specialist Professor Christian finger. From sporting director Peter Neymar delivered the definitive update on the striker's prospect, ruling out any return to action before the campaign concludes. Well, on the side of the net, of course, we hope for a quick recovery. Victor Boniface, and we cannot wait to see him back in action. Yes, moving on, we have got to take this one on the UCL, and this is concerning matches that were played on Wednesday. Atletico Madrid twice led the lead sleep in 3-3 Champions League player first leg draw at Club Brugge on Wednesday. Diego Simeone's side went 2-0 up in the first half, but Brugge fought back to 2-2, and after an own goal allowed the Spanish side to move both back in the front. Winger Stozolis grabbed the 90th minute equalizer for the host Atletico, who have never won the Champions League way long off the pace in La Liga and consider their best chances of silverware this season to be via Club Brugge. However, their poor defending left everything to play for next Tuesday in the second leg. With the last second bet at stake, Atletico captain, the newsman, he said, and I quote, "We were 2 up and did not know how to hold it to the lead. It was a roller coaster, like it'd been all season. We had to concentrate more. Atletico took an early lead. Julian Alvarez penalty after Dennis and Bob by Jacquin says the striker was spot on against rivals Real Madrid. The last year competition was controversially disallowed for double touch, leading to Atletico's elimination despite it emphatically." Yes, moving on, we have got this, talking about the trending issue. Vinegar's racism probe as Real Madrid have submitted evidence to the UEFA. Real Madrid said it had provided all available evidence to UEFA yesterday in support of the Brazilian star Vinegar's junior complaint of racist abuse during this week's Champions League clash against Benfica. Tuesday's first leg of the knockout phase playoff tie in Lisbon was stopped 40 minutes after Vinegar stole the referee Benfica Gianluca Bastiani had called him monkey during the confrontation. The Argentine, if you don't cover his mouth, during the argument after Vinegar's had celebrated a goal dancing in front of fans against the allegation. UEFA recently investigates allegation of discriminatory behavior as the furor broke out, with teammates rushing to back Vinegar, who has repeatedly suffered racist abuse since joining Real in 2018. Real Madrid has submitted all available evidence to UEFA regarding the incident during the Benfica game, which witnessed an unacceptable episode of racism. The club said in a statement, and I quote, "Real Madrid also appreciate the unanimous support back in our player Vinegar's job has received from all areas of global ball community." Yes, moving on, we have got this on Inioluwa and Celtic. Celtic will end up the session talks anytime in the future. Super Eagles forward Kelechi Iheanacho, and this contract that Celtic's back coaches is expiring. The 29-year-old is due to be out of contract in the summer, although the Scottish champion retains the option to extend his stay by a further year. Discussions over whether that clause will be activated are expected after the conclusion of the Scottish Premiership title race. According to recent reports, a decision on Iheanacho's future will be delayed until campaign has ended, giving the striker an opportunity to prove his fitness and value to the team before any final calls is made. The statement reads in our quote, "Celtic has said what discussions about the future of striker Kelechi Iheanacho at the end of the season. He's out of contract. Celtic back in the summer, but the boys have the option to extend the deal by further year, with talks about the Nigerian future planned after the conclusion of the Scottish Premiership title race. The Glasgow Giants are now set to allow the Frenchman until the end of the season to make an impact before his position can be reached as whether the club are willing to trigger the extension clause. Yes, thank you very much. He said shine on broadcaster. So channel. Yes, moving on. We've got this from the world of soccer to the world of boxing. We've got this and one of our big boxing lines, of course, F.A. Jagba, as he scored out to see again 3 and Nigerian heavyweight contender F.A. Jagba has scored out Alexander Usyk, Dilton Wilder, enticing Furies after brutally stopping former heavyweight champion Charles Martin in the 4th round of his super boxing debut in Las Vegas. Jagba dropped Martin in the 3rd round with a devastating right hand before finishing the job in the 4th with referee Thomas Taylor waving off the contest at 111 after the rate of fight left the American applause on the contest. The victory which improved Jagba's record to 21-1-1 with 15 knockouts. Cemented his status as the top 10 heavyweight and promoted the 31-year to demand bigger fight. He said, F.A. Jagba, no news man, he said, and I coach my last fight after Martin Bakole. They didn't give me a shot against Usyk because it was a draw. I want to fight Alexander Usyk. I wish I had won the fight as they could have given it to me. But Usyk, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, it doesn't matter to me. I'll fight anyone in the top 10. And that was coming from the one and only F.A. Jagba. Talking boxing, quickly take this one on the UFC middleweight champion Inioluwa Adekoya, as he has described his upcoming fight against Topifa at UFC Fight Night 271 in Seattle on March 28 as the biggest fight of his life, insisting he returns from a year out of the octagon, being unstoppable. Adekoya went as the bout on 3 fight losing streak, said the stakes of the perfect matchup go beyond the immediate result. He said, and I quote, I'll say for me, it's not about you really, this is about me. This is the biggest fight of my life. It is the biggest fight of my life in another way. Not like it is for him, but as it is for me. I've been sitting at the top, still at the top, doing more than a lot of guys who are even champions. The 36-year-old Nigerian born fighter who will be back on the dog for the first time in his professional career, that he wants to son his daughters by showcasing a side of his game fans have not seen yet. Well, we hope the UFC middleweight champion Inioluwa Adekoya can give us exactly what he says, because most of the time what they say is not what they do. Take this one out of boxing. We've got this from our UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, as he has revealed a bold blueprint of his final chapter of his fighting career, announcing his intention to retire only after capturing both welterweight and middleweight world titles in what would rank among the most remarkable comeback stories in the mixed martial arts history. The Nigerian nightmare, it is ambitious 2-division plan at the time when many have begun of his prospects of returning to Sports Summit, having suffered back-to-back losses to Leon Edwards and defeat to Kamzat Chimaev at middleweight in short notice. Questions about the 38-year-old's best days were behind him and had grown louder, but Usman signed some of this down to the video of Jacqueline Buckley, and according to recent reports, the Nigeria has now set his sights on the target that will place him among Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, Amanda Nunes, and Reese Judo as a simultaneous 2-division UFC champion. Yes, and with that final story, we've come to a wrap. on today's edition of Sports Diaries. Many thanks to those who tune in to listen to Power 102.7 FM and who consistently tune in to listen. Many thanks to those who are here with me in the studios this morning. Many thanks to those who made today's program possible. And until next time, I remain your favorite sports diva. Keep loving the game and stay sported. God bless you. Bye-bye.
The